Welcome to my weekly meltdown, where what the was that music?
That music felt like
it
felt like a wellness retreat at a spa in Thailand for a
felt
week.
Like I was drowning and I saw Jesus.
You saw
something for months. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, welcome everyone. It's been a minute. It's been so long. StreamYard has changed things on us.
I know, right?
I promise you things are going to pick back up in the summer. Life happens. Tyler's planning a wedding. I got bull crap going on that kind of, sorry, it's life. Trust me, you'll be sick of me after a while.
Say no more.
But you don't need to know. Nobody wants to know. Do you want a podcast? I could do a separate podcast about this shit. Okay, that's it.
That's like a whole series. That's like not even like one show. Yeah.
What day of the week? Thanks for that. Thank you.
Listen.
Welcome to my weekly Meltdowns coverage of the White Lotus season 3. With me is Tyler. I literally just finished watching the second half of the finale. Before. Spoiler, we're going to talk about the season and what we watch. So if you haven't watched it yet, go back and come back. Yeah. Maybe go to another show because it's finale recap. You can't read or something. I don't know. I'm being a jerk today. I don't care. Just want to say I'm so proud. I nailed it. I knew that was his father, by the way. What's his name? Walton Goggins. Mm-hmm. Rick Hatchet. Rick. Yeah, I knew when he was meeting with that man last week. I said, that's his dad. I mean, come on, man. And you can't what? And of course,
I mean, like that's why I
watches the show with me.
I don't feel bad that like he got shot because like why didn't you just tell Rick that you are his father? You know what I mean? Like just tell him.
That is a perfect Star Wars moment.
Mm-hmm.
Rick, I am your father. Mm-hmm. Well, we'll get to that because there's some other things I have to say about that whole deal.
Why don't we break it up by like character like storyline? So like we can talk about like Rick and Chelsea first, and then like we'll talk like the Ratliff family, we'll talk like the 3 ladies trip, Belinda, all of that stuff. But I guess like the best way to probably do this is to like segment into like their characters like arcs over the season and just our like overall thoughts and how it concluded and everything like that. So let's start with Rick, Walter Goggins, because I know you are a big fan of him. I have never seen him in anything before.
Okay, so I've got my Walton Goggins pulled up. That's actually what I was doing when you scared the crap out of me. When I had my
Allison. I don't know if I'm frozen or if Allison is frozen here, but let's just keep talking just in case she is the one frozen and not me. Can someone confirm?
Some things never change around here. We can always depend on Allison's ceasefire. Fiber internet won't ever freeze my ass.
I was spitfiring away. I was trying to be like, chat, am I frozen? Is Allison frozen?
No, it's me. Sure. There's no doubt. So Walton Goggins, real quick here.
Yeah.
He was in Justified. He was on The Shield. Mm-hmm. Some Tarantino films. He was in the Hateful Eight, which is a really good film. Oh my God, The Righteous Gemstones, which comes on right after The White Lotus.
Is he in that?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Couldn't be 2 completely different characters. He plays Baby Billy. He plays an old man with white hair in a church, and he was actually skiing. he was water skiing naked with his dick flopping around last week. It was great. We got a nice close up of that. And it turns out he had a stunt dick. It really wasn't his penis because he plays an older man and he didn't feel like his penis looked that old. So they had to cast someone's dick. That is a true story. Danny McBride told it on, I think, the Jimmy Kimmel show. Anyway, he's in the show Fallout. A lot of people who watch the video game Fallout, he's in Fallout. He was in a show called The Unicorn. That was really good. A couple of more. He was in the next Karate Kid in 1995 with a Hilary Swank. What else? He was in the updated Tomb Raider. God, there's so many. G.I. Joe, Django Unchained, Cowboys and Aliens. I'm trying to find one somebody might recommend, but the older ones get me. The Cherokee Kid. I'm trying to find some of these older shows you got. Anyway, he's been in a lot. And we'll get to another guy who's been in a lot of stuff too that I can't believe that it's crazy. But Walton Goggins was in Vice Principals with Danny McBride. He played a vice principal named Lee, who was a rival of Danny McBride's character Gamby, and both of them were fighting to be the new principal of this high school. And they totally were against each other, and then they came together and joined forces to get rid of the principal that got the job they thought they deserved. And it is the funniest show. The Righteous Gemstones is hilarious, all of it. So anyway, that's just a walk down memory lane. I mean, the guy has been around forever.
He's a legend.
His eyes, there's something about his eyes when he was sitting in the bench in that moment where he kind of had a fork in the road moment where he could have gone with Chelsea or and he, of course, we all know what he chose. The look in his eyes, just, this guy is sober. It just is amazing. But yes, his character's in Thailand with Chelsea, his partner, because he wants vengeance on the man who killed his father. Was that it?
Yep.
And apparently his mother told him. What did his mother tell him about his father? Do we remember?
Truthfully, I don't remember.
Well, she made him out to be some great guy, and this man, Scott Glenn, by the way, who is another great actor, urban cowboy.
He's from The Leftovers, which also Carrie Coon was in. So like they've had like a bunch of scenes together. So like when they were like taking that picture in the finale, like before the shooting happened, I was thinking like I'm sure like off camera, like they were just like chatting about like their time on The Leftovers together. I thought that was really cool.
I'm just gonna read a couple of his stuff. Yeah, I'm not gonna get all into it, but let's see here. Just a couple of his
Sam
films.
Rockwell too.
That guy is my The Hunt for Red October, The Silence of the Lambs, Silverado. Like I said, I mentioned Urban Cowboy is probably one of my favorites that he's in. But I'm going down and I'm looking at all this stuff that I'm trying to get, like his earlier stuff. He was in The Right Stuff about the moon landing. Urban Cowboy, he was in Apocalypse Now. He has been in some shit. Okay. And when I say shit, I don't mean shitty movies. He's been in some great movies. Okay. He's great. He's just amazing. Yeah. So to see him, I will say this. I heard his voice at the end of the episode, before the episode, when we saw him, I knew his voice. That's how good I am. Because I pointed out Data from the Goonies too. When they get I know who it, I was like, dude, that's Scott Glenn, and I don't know who I'm telling because nobody in this gosh damn house watches this show but me. But I was like, yeah, that's him. But he's married to a entertainer, a singer, a woman of many talents who they run this hotel resort together. And his whole deal is Rick's deal. I got to go here. I'm going to get vengeance. He killed my father. I'm going to do this. I'm going to meet up with my buddy, Sam Rockwell. I have
delivers the monologue of a lifetime.
I've never seen. I'm not mean to brag, but I will. I've dipped my toe in the acting pool, and I've been there, done that many times for 20 years. I know where you got to go to not laugh. Okay, your face will freaking hurt. Your face will hurt so bad from trying not to laugh. You tremble. Okay, this guy was so freaking professional during that. I mean, he just like this guy, Sam Rockwell's like, look, I'm not going to drink with you. I found the Buddha, and I dress up like a woman, and I let guys fuck me in the butt, and I have these beautiful Thailand women watch. And this conversation came out of freaking nowhere. I was not expecting this. I don't know if anybody, I'm just saying, I'm like, well, I'm like this. I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
Is this happening right now? And look, Godspeed, but he ends up, falling off the wagon, partying, and that was great. Goes with him because they have this whole plan, right? And you interrupt anytime you want.
No,
what was
good.
his name? What was his character's name? I was trying to scroll and
I have no idea.
it.
I always just refer to the cast as like Parker Posey, Sam Rockwell.
Okay, so Sam Rockwell and Walton Goggins, okay, they set up a meeting with this actress, and she's from Thailand, and she's married to Scott Glenn, and that's how they're going to get access to him. Dude, his friend Sam's like, I'm not doing this anymore. Okay, I'm here for you, but I don't want to really have anything to do with it. But I'm going to bring you this gun you asked me for. What do you need me to do? And he's like, look, we're going to tell this woman that you're writing and directing a film and you want her in it and you're her biggest fan and you're going to go and talk to her and distract her. And I'm going to go in and I'm just going to have a moment with this guy, blah, blah, blah. First of all, no research was done on Sam Rockwell's part before he met this woman. Okay. He was like, she's like, what's your favorite movie? And he's like,
he's like, that
so
one.
You want me to pick one? That is such a fucking Hollywood thing. That is such an entertainment industry thing. That is a thing really for anybody. If you can always say like, oh, you want me to, you're my favorite song? Why don't you ask me which song I don't like? I don't have an answer. And then he's sitting there watching these old videos of her from like the early 90s and stuff. And he's like, wow.
Do you know those videos are real? Like she was actually a like performer, and like those were like totally legitimate videos of her when she was of that age in the 90s.
he's like, this is amazing. I'm speechless. It's like Vanilla Ice and MC Hammer morphed together, and you were born. And what is happening? But I think Sam Rockwell's a genius. He plays a guy. I'm not going to get into it. We'll do that some other time. But the whole scene between Scott Glenn and Walton Goggins did not go the way I thought it was going to go. I really thought that he was going to hurt him. I really thought he was going to shoot this man and take it out on him and all that. And he didn't. He saw a feeble old man who he assumed couldn't fight back. And he told him how he felt, and he left, and they went and partied with hookers. I mean, so that was that. But do you feel like the Scott Glenn character was faking? I believe he knew who he was the entire time. Prove me wrong.
Yeah, I just like I wish we had like just a few more scenes of him to get like some more backstory or like understand like his like true intentions for lying to him, for lying again when he confronts him, like, and then like a third time he like goes to the hotel with like a gun in his jacket and he's like, "Don't fuck with me." Like, I just feel like that's not like, if that's your son, like all of this could easily go away if you just said like, "Listen, like I'm your father, like your father is not dead. I am your father. So like let's talk about this." I just don't understand like why the ruse was like still there like the entire time and it ultimately like led to his death.
Well, you have to think about it. Scott Glenn didn't tell him. It wasn't I don't think he wanted him. I don't think he ever intended to. I think he had zero respect, absolutely none.
That's true.
For Walton Goggins, like, because of the way he she. I didn't know she was a liar, just a slut. She's also a liar. She made your father sound like this great guy. He had an opportunity to say something, and he didn't do it. He told him he wanted him gone. So when he is killed by Walton Goggins, who is pleading with his Thailand, I wouldn't say, what is it? Not therapist, but what would that be?
Like a wellness session. Therapy. Yeah.
Begging her, "I need you," and the act, the eyes, everything. I think she should have talked to him.
Yeah.
You don't know what this young guy. What has he got? Nothing. He's young. What's his problem? Nothing.
He's young and pretty, and he has $5 million. Like he will be, he'll be fine. I totally agree. Like I bet she had some like really big remorse, like not taking that therapy session real quick, because she could have easily just prevented that whole thing from happening. But well, actually, now that I say that out loud, I don't know if that's even true, because like not even Chelsea could ultimately convince him not to.
I don't think it would have been the convincing part. I think it would have been he's with his we're just going to call her therapist, and the Thailand therapist, whatever, resort therapist. He wouldn't have seen him again in that moment. He wouldn't have been that close. There would have been no opportunity.
No opportunity. Yeah.
It would have been any opportunity that would have unfolded would have been out of reach. Yeah. The opportunity of within strangling distance, as I call it, choking distance was definitely there. Chelsea tried to stop him, and he ends up going up to him, shooting him. And in that moment, the famous lady, his wife says, "Why did you kill him?
Father.
That was your father. He said he was your father." Now, that's a shocking moment. And I don't think it was something that was ever intended that the guy wanted revealed. The woman I think just to add insult to injury. Yeah. And in the moment of the shootout, which I thought was a little overboard. Okay. I'm like, no, I just really, because now I want the backstory of what Walton Goggins' character does for a living. Like how's he know how to John Wick the gun? I mean, Yeah. So, and then Chelsea gets shot, and then he gets shot because is it Guy Talk, the most adorable man on the show. I just want to smush his face and kiss him and cuddle him and just tell him it's gonna be okay. You don't have to be what everyone else wants you to be. I just love him to death. Yeah. Ends up with the gun and shooting Walton Goggins, and they end up in the little lake, and they die.
I really like Chelsea as a character. Like she was so like, her performance this season was so like, I felt like she was this like nymph fairy that like just loved him so purely, so sweetly. Like it was, and I think that she was okay in her like final moments, like realizing like her seeing how much he cared about her, like while she's like dying, I think is like all the reassurance that she needed, that like she truly loves this man and she is okay with it. It was very like a Greek tragedy kind of thing.
Oh my God, it was. And then like right before all that, when they're eating breakfast and he's like, "I'm free," all of this stuff. And then the dad shows up and they have the, and I love when she says, stop. You know, you need to let go of the love you didn't get and look at the love you have right in front. I was like, oh,
yeah,
I feel that. Because there's so many people that are stuck. And I get it. I'm one of those people. I know I'm 100%. I've been there, done that, still doing that. Okay. We want so desperately for certain people that are required to love us. I got news for you, man. Your parents aren't required to love you. Your brothers and sisters aren't required to love you. And I can tell you right now from personal experience, blood does not make you family. I love family. Don't get me wrong. I love the family that I love that loves me back. I truly appreciate my family. I'm not shitting on family. So sit down, take a seat. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, you know, don't.
You can either accept it or let it like ruin your entire life and drag down the people that you love with you.
Right. If someone put something on Facebook I saw a couple of weeks ago that you said, stop enabling the behavior because you're related. Mm-hmm. It just is what it is. That is a common phrase with family members. Your sister-in-law's a bitch, but you got to put up with her because it is what it is. No, I don't. And I do not. Cut. No. I have boundaries and I respect myself. I do not have to have anything to do with you. And if you don't know why, that is your problem, not mine. Your brother sucks. You are not required. Look, it just is that's just how they are. No. Stop it. Live your life for you. Next.
So let's talk about guy talk just like very quickly before moving on next, because I gotta say, like, my least favorite character in this whole season was Mook. And I wish that she died. Like, I was hoping she would be the one to take the bullet, literally. I just like I really couldn't stand how, like, you know, the moment he like wakes up and he's like, this ain't for me, this is not my path. Like, she just totally ribs him a new one, just totally bails, like, just says all of these like terrible things about like, oh, I thought you were strong. I thought you were determined in life. I thought you were like had goals and aspirations. I guess not. Like, she is just so like, she just wants like a tough man and she wants to be wealthy. Like, and like, she doesn't care like the cost of that in terms of what that does to a person on the inside. Like, guy talk, I just feel like he had such a like pure heart. And the only like, I just hated like that last scene of him like driving Saritala in that fancy car, and Mook is like, oh yeah, I'm into this now, and I'm like, you're into that, you're not into him. I just like it really grossed me out. I thought the whole time that she was like in with Valentine and like his like sketchy crew. I thought that she was just kind of like an intentional distraction for guy talk, so these like criminals could just like go about the resort like they were. So I was disappointed that there wasn't some big reveal that she was like in on like the crime happening. And I kind of wish like the final scene with them was just him saying like, listen, like, this is not the life that I want. You are not the one that I want, and that's okay. But like, I'm not gonna like settle myself. But you know, that's the White Lotus. Like, as much as we want like these like happy, like holistic, idealistic like endings for all these people, you know, this is very like Timmy was telling me last night. He was like, this is very realistic to like Asian dating culture. Like, this is how it is. So I don't know. I expected more from Mook's character, just because like Lisa is like, she's like Kardashian level fame in South Korea. Like, she is a huge deal. And then I feel like her character ended up just being like a little bit of a nothing burger. So so just wanted to like touch on them real quick before like moving on to the next one.
I don't think that Mook deserves talk.
I agree.
What can I say? Guy talk. I don't think Mook deserves guy talk. I thought she was wishy-washy when they were at the fight. That's when I was like, oh, this.
Yeah. She was like turned on by that fight. She's like, yeah, look, like this is what you got to be like. Like, I don't know. I just like wasn't a fan of her. She's probably my least White Lotus character out of all 3 seasons, to be honest.
But I really liked him. I felt like, I'm such an empath that I can feel the frustration. You know what I mean? Like when I'm watching him, I felt his, oh God, they want me to be something I'm not. And but I was sad to see that he drank the Kool-Aid and he killed the Walton Goggins, Rick Hatchett, and became the bodyguard, whatever, for Sophia. Was that her name? I can't remember her name.
Suritala.
Could you try again? Tyler Laura Seaton, known anonymous.
Hey Siri, stop. Keep going.
Okay, so Cirilla, I love, so that kind of made me sad. And also, I don't want to go in depth of Valentin, whatever. Those guys sucked. I knew
just
he
like
had
side characters, in my opinion.
Yeah, I knew he had a hidden motive in whatever. And that was just dumb. They robbed it and they got away with it. Gatog didn't say anything. Okay, next.
Yeah. All right. So next we have the Ratliff family. Over the course of the season, of course, we saw Timothy just like spiraling. Like all of his assets were like frozen by the feds. Like he's facing jail time for like millions of dollars of like embezzlement. And he just, instead of confronting it head on, instead of like telling his family, he just decides to totally check out, steal the lorazepam, and just like contemplate suicide, contemplate killing his family, which like was a real thing that happened apparently. Like Mike White said that there was like a case a few years ago where like this like rich dad like found out exactly this kind of news, and he knew that like his family couldn't live an uncomfortable life, like Parker Posey said, and so he just decided to kill them all before he killed himself. And I was wondering, like, is that the route we're gonna go down here? But I will say, like, ultimately, like, I do wish that we saw a little more of the fallout. Like the last scene of them is like them on the boat. They're getting their phones back, so they're like seeing like the news come in about like what's going to happen. And of course, like he ended up like not committing suicide, but like I just wish there was like just like a minute or two longer of like, I would just love to see Parker Posey's like reaction and fallout to this, and like his kids and stuff like that. But I don't know, the whole like pina colada smoothie thing was like just a stupid way to commit suicide, in my opinion. Like if you're gonna like drink that like poisonous fruit, that's fine, but like don't like involve like your whole family in it, especially if like, and I guess this is like rich people problems, because like what rich person like cleans a blender themselves, right? Like they have people to do that for them. Oh, you're muted.
Who uses a blender without cleaning it? My 3-year-old grandson knows to rinse something out.
Yeah.
Lachlan.
Yeah. So, like this whole family like almost got poisoned, and then Lachlan, he's like left out because he's like underage. He can't drink a pina colada, but he like does it the next morning, and he almost dies. And Timothy's the one to like find him like passed out from drinking this like poisonous shake.
But can we roll back? Why was Timothy going to leave his youngest alive? I don't get it. Because he was the only one who said he could live without. Yeah, you say that after one night in a monk's temple, which I dig that monk, by the way. But anyway, you spent a night in that temple and all this. Yeah. What? No. You're going to leave him there to handle this shit and then go back to the United States and everything's frozen? I mean, what are you doing here?
Yeah. And then, of course, we saw Piper. She thought she wanted to become a monk and like move to Thailand and do all this stuff. But good on Parker Posey for like being like, listen, stay there one night. If you love it after that, we'll support you. Like smart move, smart
That is
woman.
totally me. That is totally me.
Yeah.
I felt that. First of all, Parker Posey is a Generation X queen.
Yes.
By the way, Dazed and Confused. She just has been in so many films. I even loved her in Superman Returns, and that was a gigantic turd from 2006. But I was just waiting I said, this would be perfect when they're on the boat and they all look on their phones. If she would have stood up and just said, lick me, all of you, lick me. That would have been just the icing, because she says that in Dazed and Confused to a bunch of freshman girls, because I don't know if you've ever seen it, but they're seniors torturing freshmen, and they're making them do all this really terrible, humiliating stuff, and they're all like giving her a dirty. She's like, oh, you didn't give me dirty to lick me, all of you, lick me. And I'm like, I love her. I felt her character like, you want to.
She was so good.
Yeah, I would have been like, okay, I tell it, because I've told to my son 1,000,000 times, look, try it one time and just see how, just try it. And she wasn't wrong for that. I just thought that she told her how she really felt first, but go ahead and try it. Just try it first. Do you think Timothy was on board with Piper doing that? Because it was like, well, that's one less mouth I got to feed when I get home.
I do think that like this is probably better than like just living in poverty because of like my own actions at this point. So yeah, but like we saw Piper, she tried one night and then she like the next day she said like, listen, like I'm not meant to live an uncomfortable life either. And you know what's weird? Like as soon as she like had this realization, like her like Parker Posey, like her mom just like started like reeling her in. And she's like, yeah, yep. It's okay, Piper. Like we owe it to the people that can't live like this to enjoy the fruits of our labor. And Piper, this is such a thing with like young kids from like rich families. Like they want so badly to be oppressed and to be like, I'm above this, but like when the tires hit the road, and we see this with Belinda too, like once you're faced with like, should I live an uncomfortable life or should I just like cash in? That was kind of like a theme for this finale. Piper decides to cash in. And as soon as like this happens, like her outfits like really start changing. Like she wore a lot of like white, like sundresses and like just like very like pure type of clothing. And I feel like as soon as she came back from that monastery, we saw her wearing like a lot bolder colors, like just like her mom. And also somebody on Reddit pointed this out that I want to show you, Allison. So remember like this, like very first, like image of them, right? Like the see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil.
I think my mother made a dress for me that looked just like that in 1981.
So look at them at like, this is like the final shot of them, right? And I feel like this shot like really shows the evolution of these three characters, right? So Lachlan, I feel like Lachlan is just going to turn into like a Gen Z, like MAGA boy. You know what I mean? Like that kind of like young kid, like that's like the energy that I'm getting, that I'm receiving from like this like screenshot here. Piper, she's just stayed.
Like, he should have stayed, done the monk thing. Why not?
Yeah. And then Piper, she's just like, she's so like carefree, you know what I mean? Like she has accepted this like uncomfortable life for herself is kind of what I'm getting here. And then we see Saxon. I feel like he's really starting to turn around and like start to realize that like this like life I was living. I don't know. Like, do you see that? Do you see he's kind of like going through like a change for the better here, like leaving the White Lotus?
When he had that moment, I think that Chelsea and Saxton, I'm going to be honest, I was rooting for them at the end. I was like, man, that would be cute.
Yeah.
And then he ruined it. He had to go and do the douche thing when she's trying to help him meditate. And then he, I was like, okay, and then she left. And then they never had. He doesn't even know she's dead. But people come into our lives for a reason. And I think that was I liked that encounter. That was probably my favorite, was between Chelsea and Saxton. I also think Saxton's evolution was my favorite too. It's played by Patrick Schwarzenegger, who is, of course, obviously the son of Arnold and Maria Shriver. And he gets a lot of pretty boy status. He is a Nepo, as they call it, a Nepo baby.
Nepo baby. Yep.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
But he's good. You can tell when someone's good, in my opinion, when I see it in here. When I can see it in your eyes and your body before anything comes out of your mouth. I know exactly what shot
you're talking about.
Yeah. I'm here for it, because his goal, I'm going to make my son, oh Lord Jesus, my brother, it's not weird that I'm watching porno naked in the bathroom with my younger brother in the next, and I'm going to jerk off, but it's weird. I'm going to be he's obsessed with Lachlan losing his virginity. They hook up with Chelsea and Gary's girlfriend. I'm just going to call her Gary's, what was her name?
Chloe.
So Chloe and, Chelsea become friends, and they go on a boat. They go on Gary's boat with Saxton and the boat people, as Parker puts it. Oh, the boat people. I related to her on so many, not like the popping pills rich part, but I am a 48-year-old Southern woman, and it is my job to tell my child everything I think about what they're going to try to experience, but go ahead and do it anyway. You could die, but do it. And it's like you're dating an asshole, and I'm telling you everything that's wrong with this person. And then when you finally break up, you come to me and I'm like,
I told you so.
Come here, bring it in. Let's go. I felt that because Jacob has accused me of doing this. I do this apparently.
Oh yeah, I've seen that look.
Yeah, so that's just everything you need to know. But they go on the boat. They have what do they call it? The full moon party.
Yep.
On the boat, Chelsea and what's her name again? She's gonna tell me 50 times. Chloe and Saxton and Lachlan, and they have a great time. Man, I would love to experience something like that. I don't drink. I don't do anything like that. So I would be I'm the Kate of the situation, minus the being the antagonist and the crazy bob haircut. But I'm the sober going, okay, guys, you know what? I think it's time to go home.
Yeah.
But I would have enjoyed the full moon party, just being around all that.
Yeah.
But the full moon party led to something else.
Incest. So of course we saw Lachlan have sex with Chloe, and Patrick Schwarzenegger, Saxon's just laying there by the side, jerking off a little bit, and so Lachlan just decides to lend a helping hand to help out his brother, because Lachlan is such a pleaser. That's why he did it.
Yeah, because I'm a people pleaser and I live with narcissists. I've been surrounded by narcissists too, but I've never thought, you know what, I'm gonna jerk off my brother.
Yeah. But I think this is what really is Saxon's wake-up call to what the fuck am I doing with my life? My actions have led to this really uncomfortable thing that happened, and Chelsea is waking me up a little bit in terms of I feel that he's never been told so bluntly by beautiful women too, with money, you're a loser. All you care about is getting off. I would never date somebody like you because there's no depth. I feel like he really took that to heart, and he started changing after that. And he kind of he avoided Lachlan the rest of the trip. It was really I thought that he was going to lean into it more. It's okay to worship me, but don't worship.
It's okay to worship me, but don't worship me.
Yeah.
Just the looks that I felt Patrick Schwarzenegger's facial expression.
Yeah.
I think he's what? He's animated in a way that's very, And I feel
you
that
could tell he was like physically ill after that moment. You know what I like? Ugh.
Yeah. I thought it was a great, but they were kissing. He tongued his brother.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I am in the South. And I'm going to tell you right now, we are not tonguing our brothers. You've got to be in an exotic country with that on the gummies and LSD-BCs to really do something like that. I don't, and I'm not judging if you've done it. Hey, everybody's got a story. I never have. Is this a cliche though? Guys that are really hot in the United States go to other countries and the women are like, ugh, oh, here comes this American.
Yeah. Like when he's like, I went to Duke, and Chelsea's like, okay, I don't care.
What is that? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just really liked that. I know some people were not. I know one of when we covered the first half of the season, our theory. Well, this was more your theory. I didn't know how I
was like
felt about this. I didn't know how to feel about this theory, so I was like, I'm gonna fill up the cup and see if put the Coke in the cup and see where the fizzy got, and because we had originally like, I think maybe Saxton molested Lachlan or some incestuous.
Yeah.
I don't think that happened until the full moon party.
Yeah.
And
it freaked him out.
It freaked him out. I don't think it'll ever come up again. I think that's done. I think they're going to have bigger fish to fry. God, can we please have a spinoff series called The Ratliffs? I need to know what happens when they go home. Just for the Patrick Schwarzenegger Who Farted faces and the Parker Posey reaction shots.
Yeah.
I just really need it in my life. You understand?
I mean, maybe one of them will be one of the like returning people for next season. Like who knows? But real quick, like before moving on to the next group, you mentioned that you loved the monk. I feel like this would be a good place to like brush on that before we move on to Belinda and Zion and Greg.
So his whole thing in the beginning of the finale about anxiety and I had to rewind it, listen to it twice, and I'll listen to it again. I'm like, I'm gonna look this dude up. I'm not kidding, because he was talking about anxiety. What's gonna happen to us? What are we gonna do? And then we, in our own minds, come up with a resolution, and it's a temporary fix. There's a difference between a resolution and a temporary fix, and I'm like, I feel that. Maybe I need to go to a Buddhist colony.
I also loved like how he explained life and death to Timothy, how he like that droplet of water metaphor, like your life is like that droplet coming out of the water after a splash, and then like the end of your life is you just rejoining that water. I thought that was like really beautifully said.
I really like that guy, and I can't remember his name. Is he a real life?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Let me just say real quick, I apologize for being ignorant because I am not educated in Buddhism. I'm sorry if I'm offending anyone, because I'm in Memphis, dude. Nobody's talking about Buddhism around here. You're either Baptist or Catholic, okay?
Yeah.
And they hate each other. So, you're
good.
They really do. Serious. So, so when I hear this philosophy stuff, I go back and my mind goes to Tina Turner. Tina Turner became a Buddhist. And she talks
really? I didn't know that.
Yes, she says one of the things that saved her life, leaving Ike. And now I'm like, I got to look this up, dude.
Wow.
I got to do something. So there's many levels of it. So, but did you look it up? He's a real man? Like he's a real...
So apparently he is an anchor, a Thai journalist, TV personality, and author. So I guess he was just like playing a role. But like it was very like Timmy is a Buddhist. Like he was like watching like all of these scenes, and like he was telling me like this is very like good representation for like Buddhist culture and religion. Like it is, you know, like we think of religion in a very like Western, like there's like a God, there's like a higher power who like controls all kind of thing. And Buddhism is really about like accepting that like the human condition is pretty much nothing but suffering. Like we are the only living things on this planet that has any understanding that there is a beginning and ending to your life. You know, like your cats don't know that. My dog doesn't know that. And that is why like human beings are so just like fucked up in the head, because like they have an understanding that their life has a beginning and ending. And Buddhism is all about like realizing that the ending is not like the ending of like your life. It's the contribution to like the greater purpose of like the universe and like nature and stuff like that. It's kind of like my like he can explain this a lot better.
I need Timmy to send like just one book or one thing for someone like me who had a close to 2.0 grade average in high school. Something early
Buddhism for dummies.
To read. Buddhism for dummies named Allison. Because man, I was digging this guy. You know, I really was. I thought it was beautiful what he said. So I thought that was great. I liked that Lachlan wanted to do it. I was laughing at the fact that the sister was like talking about bougie purses and getting highlights at the end of the episode with her mom. And one more, but real quick.
Yeah.
Do you think Timothy should have killed himself?
Yes, 1000%.
Personally, I would have if I were him.
Yeah.
I mean, and he was going to. He was.
Yeah.
But Gatot got the gun. So, yeah. Okay.
I agree. I totally agree.
And that actor's amazing, by the way. So.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yes. Like one of my favorite performances like this season was Jason Isaacs for sure. So let's talk about Belinda and Zion. I want to save the three ladies for last because they're my favorite. But man, Belinda. I was so.
Is this her second season?
Yeah, Belinda? So she was on the first season. So just a little bit of context here. So Belinda was a massage therapist in Hawaii. That's where she met Tanya, Jennifer Coolidge's character. The entire week, like Tanya was very like, I'm burying my mother's ashes. Like I need like therapy. I need like Belinda, you just like be my person for the week. And she really like used Belinda. Like she just like emotion dumped everything on Belinda in a very like unfair way. But the whole, like the reason Belinda was like taking all of it is because Tanya was like, I have so much money. Like I will start like your business. You
have to say it like Jennifer Coolidge. You have to say it like Jennifer Coolidge.
I've got money and we're gonna do this together, Belinda. And so Belinda was like so excited about like her life changing for the better, starting her own business, like all of this stuff. And then as soon as Tanya met Greg, Tanya said to Belinda, like, listen, like some things have changed. Like I'm actually leaving Hawaii tomorrow. And Belinda was like, what about the business? And Tanya was like, sorry. And it's just crazy to me. It's crazy to me, like the parallels here that like, as soon as Belinda got this opportunity to get that $5 million, she cashed in and told that like really hot guy that she was going to start a business with the same exact thing. Yeah, she did the same thing to him that Tanya did to her. And it's same thing that I said with Piper. Like it's so the White Lotus. It's so Mike White to say like, when people are presented with money that like it's never has to be a concern for you ever again, like it changes your whole life. You know what I mean? Like these people with so much money just live in a totally different way than we can fathom, you know? And as much as Belinda would love to like take this moral high ground and like not accept the money, like she cashed in, like and she said goodbye. Yeah,
she turned at the meeting with with Greg.
Yeah,
she
in front of her son too. Like what a example for your son to like to cash in like that. I don't know. I was very surprised, but like also not surprised because this is the White Lotus after all. But and that's really all I have to say about Belinda. I was so scared for her the entire season.
I wasn't. I'm over it. I don't understand why she was in season 3. I'm sorry. I like the character in season. I get why because Gary was there. Honorable mention, real quick, Fabian, who jumped into the river. I was like, that made me laugh so hard. Anyway, he's like the main, I don't know what they call it, but he's like the
hotel manager.
Yeah, around in the golf cart. He's up good talks ass. He wants to sing a solo, but Cirilla is like, but he
I feel like I identify with him in a weird way.
It's funny to me because he's the one that Belinda is having a good time, but she sees Gary and gets scared. She hears something in her room. It turns out being I don't know what it was. What was it?
Like a monkey or something.
Lizard or some shit that the guy that she dumped got rid of. So she actually tells Fabian, there's this guy, because he's like, oh, there's someone asking about you, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh. And then, she tells him everything. And this guy is invested, and Fabian is listening. And I thought this was going to go a different way. And then all of a sudden he goes, I don't want to do the gossip. I'm not going to do that. And I'm like, no, Fabian, do it.
Yeah. I just don't think he like wanted like trouble at the like bringing like cops in and like arresting this guy. You know what I mean? I kind of thought that like he was being like paid off by Greg or like in on it somehow as well. But no,
waiting for that shoe to fall.
He's just a weird dude.
Yeah, I got it. I thought he was, I thought he was great. And you know, and the whole, if we want to touch on Gary real quick, Gary and Chelsea, not Chelsea, Chloe. So Greg, Allison, his name is Greg, not Gary. Or was it Gary?
His real name is Greg, and his Thai name is Gary.
Gary. Okay, so Gary, Greg, we'll call him Gary. This guy, Jon Gries, I can't pronounce it. This guy's been around for a while, and I was kind of rolling around looking at some. You were shocked that he was Uncle Rico in Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was in a movie with, God rest his soul, Val Kilmer. I could do a whole show on that, but I won't. He was in a movie with Val Kilmer in '85 called Real Genius, and that was played every other hour on HBO when I was 8 or 9 years old. I'm telling you, that's back when they just played the same shit over and over again. You didn't have White Lotus. The only show you had was not necessarily the news. That was it. But he's been in a lot. I was just going to say real quick, I'm not going to go through his whole thing, but he was in the early, a lot of people, he was in a movie called, oh God, where is it? It's in 1987, The Monster Squad. I don't know if anybody remembers that. He was in The Monster Squad. He was the Wolfman. He actually played the Wolfman. It was about these little kids chasing down Frankenstein's monster, Dracula, and Wolfman. And he was in it. He was Wolfman. He was in something else, a bunch of other stuff. He was in The Grifters. That was a really good John Cusack movie. I'm trying to think. He was in The X-Files. I'm trying to think of stuff that you guys would know. Men in Black. Yeah, but I'm trying to. You get Napoleon Dynamite. God, the astronaut farmer. I mean, He's one of those guys. He was in Taken, the first Taken, with Liam Neeson, because we got 28 of these movies. We got Taken.
Does he always play like a similar kind of role, like a creepy older man?
No, he's not. He's not creepy all the time. He's a nice guy, and he's either creepy or nice or just doesn't talk. To me, he's always kind of been the nice guy. He played a genius in the movie Real Genius. He lived in a wall.
I can see that.
That's a movie you just have to see. But yeah, he's a really good guy. I think he's one of the most underrated actors around, and I would really like to see him get some recognition for this, because he's always second. He's not even second, he's third to these other great actors. And it's kind of like Walton Goggins has been in the shadows of all these greats. God, he was in The Hunt for Red October with Sean Connery and Alec Baldwin. All these guys. Jason Isaacs has been in a ton of films. The casting was so amazing. This is my favorite season of The White Lotus.
Really?
Just 100%. I like 1 and 2, but this was my favorite.
I think season 2 I liked better overall, but I think the season finale of season 3 was like easily the best finale, and I really think they stuck the landing with just like wrapping everything up and stuff. But we have one more group of people to talk about, and I wanted to save these iconic queens for last.
Real quick, let me ask you a quick question.
Oh yeah.
Do you think Gary's request of Chloe to invite Saxton into the bedroom was a ruse?
No, I think that's like a real fetish.
Okay.
Because like the last thing we saw is Chloe like like talking to another guy, and like the guy like turns around and looks at Greg. Yeah. And honestly, like, if this is like the last we see of Greg, like I'm okay with that. Like my stepmom, she texted me. She was like, she's been watching all season 2, and she was like, I really wish that like Greg like got found out or like got arrested at the end. And I'm like,
no, we love
people
Greg.
With that much money, like they can hide. You know what I mean? Like if this is Greg's like final resolution in terms of like story and stuff like that, I'm totally satisfied leaving him here and him never like there never being like true justice for Tanya's death, because he has the resource to not deal with it.
18 episodes. He's been in the most episodes of anyone who's been on the show.
Wow.
18 episodes. And yet he's been a side story.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind if he came back in season 4 as a main character. Okay. I wouldn't mind it at all. Maybe he gets his comeuppance then. But don't bring Belinda back.
Yeah, no.
I'd like to see these 3 next on deck. The
three ladies.
The white lady triad.
So Lori's monologue in the season finale was like my favorite scene in the whole season. Like, as somebody who, the whole like I'm just happy to be at the table thing. Like, I don't find purpose in religion. I don't find purpose in beauty, in vanity. I just find purpose in the passing of time and just being along this ride with the people in my life. And that matters more than Jacqueline hooking up with Valentine or, Kate voting for Trump, like that kind of thing. Like, I just felt like it was so like, and I want to talk about that scene too, because that was so good. But like, just the dynamic between these 3 ladies was so fascinating. And I was really hoping that I was really happy with the resolution of them, because I was worried that, or not worried, I was expecting them to like, this is the last time they'll ever talk. Like they're like, the takeaway for them is going to be like never go on a trip with 3 women ever again, because it's just like full of tension and drama and like cattiness, talking about each other, judging each other, all of the things, right? But like, I just loved like Lori's monologue just kind of like cracked open that like, like no matter what they're going through, like they have like time and history. And so like they all know each other's like life experiences. And that's like, there's so much context behind like just like fun moments, like shooting the shit together. I loved the monologue. I loved the performance. I loved like the dynamic between the 3 women. That scene where like I feel like every scene between the three of them, like there was so much being said by like just like little glances they were like giving each other when like the other person said something that was like a little off, or like that whole like voting for Trump scene was so good. And I just like I loved every second of these three ladies. I want you as like somebody that's like in a similar age range to these.
I am
women.
in the same age range as these ladies.
What did you think? Like, what was your perspective on it? I'm gonna feed Sora while I'm listening to you, but I'm still here.
Okay. So I think if all this shit had gone down when they were in their 20s, I don't think they would still be speaking to each other. I think that a lot of shit has gone down in the relationship over the years, but not enough to the point where they've cut each other off. I mean, they're not together all the time, but they stay in touch with each other, you know. I thought they would make it to the end. As a 48-year-old woman, I felt like you have three people in this trio. You have Kate, played by Leslie Bibb, who, fun fact, is married to Sam Rockwell in real life, if you didn't know that. They're a couple in real life. They actually got Sam Rockwell because of Leslie Bibb. I thought that was awesome, because when I saw him show up, I was like, oh, well, yeah, that's a no-brainer. But anyway, Leslie Bibb with the you know, church-going lady who voted for Trump with the bob haircut, you know, she's kind of like the center. Wouldn't exactly. I think she's just like the just the friend you hang out with if you don't want to get in trouble, you know, just real straight-laced, you know. And then you have the real outgoing friend in Jacqueline, and then you have the Lori that's just like is just brutally honest, and Kate, who's neither one of the two, you know, and they all fit and complement each other. I'm not gonna lie to you. As a woman, we are pitted against each other in freaking preschool.
Absolutely, yeah.
We are, and it's all goes back to stupid bullies, and we are conditioned to think, oh, you know, I've got to get it. Just I don't know how to explain it into words, but it's like it depends on how you're. Okay.
It's very hard for women to stay friends because they are so like they are so pitted against each other, and the only way to survive that is to like play into that.
It also depends on the influences in their young lives too. That is something that I'm really learning about, is father figures. And I will tell you, man, little girls, when they're, you know, they look up to their fathers, and your father is the blueprint of who you end up with, male or female. I don't care what, you know, what you are. That is who the little girl is looking for. And if they see a man treating a woman a certain way, they're going to think that that is love, even if it's not. This same thing is true for mothers. You are a blueprint and an example of how a little girl thinks that a woman is supposed to behave. If they see, oh, well, I only matter if this guy pays attention to me and I don't need friends. Who needs friends? Or I'm going to dick a friend out. You know, we are kind of conditioned at a very young age to kind of not think for ourselves and do what society wants us to do. And thus we are pinned against each other. We're fighting over the little boy on the playground. We're fighting over the dolls. We're fighting over who can be the biggest kiss ass to the teacher. It is a constant competition. The women that I have remained friends with over the years, I got this friend, Carrie Allen. I've known her since 1989. Let me tell you something. This girl and I haven't seen her in person in 13 years, but she and I can have a conversation, and it's like we're in the same gosh damn room. we were the kids that got separated in the 6th grade because we were giggling too much. They put us across the room from each other, and we would stare, and we would just look at each and giggle. I mean, like, you couldn't, you know what I mean? Like, the only thing that would have helped is if they like put us in different classrooms, and that never happened. And she moved away in the 9th grade, and it was my first real heartbreak outside of family. I can say that honestly. When Carrie moved, her family moved back to California when I was 13, 14. Oh, wait, no. So I was, I was 15. Yeah, that was my first real heartbreak that was not blood related to me. And
you remember that, you know?
And I remember, I could cry right now. I remember how bad we stayed in touch. The last time we were together in person, we were so fucking annoying. My son couldn't be around us. Okay. He was like, oh my God, you guys are like, you don't even talk. You just laugh and point, and you don't even, because we telecommunicate. I swear to God. That is the kind of friendships that I love. Like you and me and Beth, when we're to get, like, you tossing me in a cab and I'm going back. I'm freaking Kate. I'm going back to the hotel, motel with Pablo in the possible rape cab van. I'm taking my chances. I'm going back to.
So, okay, wait. So you're Kate. So who's Jacqueline and who's Lori between me?
I've definitely got to be Kate.
Yeah.
But you know what? The difference here is I didn't give y'all any shit for continuing the night. I didn't throw a Bible act. I went home. I took a shower. I got in my pajamas. I was piddling around on my phone, just waiting up for my kids to get home in one piece because I wasn't going to sleep till y'all got home. And, you know, I really feel like I could relate to her because I'm a fucking sober person, 100%, almost 8 years. And I can have a good time and sit back and watch everyone have fun. I can still I know how to have fun without alcohol.
You'll be like that stuff at the pool.
But that, but I'm the one sitting there going at the pool when I know things are out of hand and this is a rapey vibe or this is getting weird. I'm the one going, I'm flickering the light. Okay, guys, you see this? Look. So we could, we'll get to where is this time to go home? It's time to go to bed.
Yeah.
It is. Don't make me call the guy.
It's getting late. Yeah.
With his gun. You know, so, you know, I kind of felt like I was more like that. I don't want you to be offended, but I kind of felt like you were a little bit on the Jacqueline side because you will turn around and go, you know what, Allison, if you don't like your life, fucking fix it. That is a Tyler, but you're also Lori at the same time. I think you're like.
I think Beth is more Lori.
I feel like Beth is more Lori, and you have, but you're not gonna go fuck one of Beth's potentials.
No,
I don't see that. Like, I feel like we are each of one of these women, but we're the good parts.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's why, like, I was so happy that like the resolution of it was so good. Like and especially after like they experienced this like shooting together, like that shit is gonna like bond them for life, like even further. You know what I mean? Like I was just so happy with how it ended for them. And honestly, like I want to ask you this, but like Carrie Coon for the Emmy nomination, right? Like, who are you giving the Emmy nom to out of this cast? Because I would give it to Lori.
Walton Goggins. Walton Goggins doesn't get a Golden Globe, Emmy, some kind of recognition. I'm done. And done. Do you understand me? I'm done. I even think little Patrick Schwarzenegger should get something. I think he did a great job. The young
pretty
man.
Much the entire cast last time got nominated, so like it's possible. So
Carrie Coon, though, man, there's so much more to her than Ghostbusters: The Afterlife. It was really nice.
I'm telling you, Allison, she was phenomenal in The Leftovers. Like one of the best like performances like ever.
I need to watch it. I've heard that a lot, but she's getting cast in movies like the I'm sorry. I'm not a big fan of the 2 Ghostbuster sequels that came out the last 5 years. Okay. I thought that was a throwaway casting for her. They could have cast someone else in that role.
It's a cash grab.
Yeah, she's better than that. Way better than that. But yeah, I mean, as a whole, I thought this was probably the most. If I'm checking the time to see how much time I have left every freaking minute, it's a great episode. And I did that every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
I did find that like I felt like the pacing was a little off. Like I felt like season 2 was like a tighter story. And I think that every episode needs to be a day. Like I didn't like the episodes that like ended at night and then like we continued that night in the next episode. I feel like that format like doesn't work for the White Lotus. I feel like every episode should be like a full day with these like different characters. And so like with that being said, like I just felt like besides the finale, every episode was like almost exactly an hour long. And I feel like if we just had like 1 or 2 more scenes for like each of like the main groups, like give me like an hour and 15 minutes or something like that, I think I would be more satisfied, because like the finale was an hour and a half and I feel like it like wrapped up everything so perfectly. Like I feel like we got like a proper amount of conclusion for every story, minus the Ratliffs, I would say.
Right. I like the way it ended. I am going to heavily campaign for a Ratliff spinoff of some kind. Just give us
it's basically
4
Schitt's
episodes. I mean, can you imagine? Well, you don't watch. Did you ever watch Schitt's Creek?
No, but like I know that it's like a rich family that like loses all their money and then they go to this like honky tonk town.
Oh, it's so good.
And,
yeah,
so that's basically the Ratliffs.
The unfunny version, the realistic version, because Saxton's gonna get turned out. I'm worried for him, because I'm like, he works for his father. What if he was doing something and he didn't know he was doing it?
Mm-hmm. He could easily like take the fall for it and like end up in jail as well.
We're going home and we're going to be a family and we're going to face whatever happens as a family. Dude, I'm hitting the first ATM before they freeze our accounts, and I am bleeding it dry, and I'm out of here. Mm-hmm. Do you understand me? That's it. I've seen. By the way, I did not get hit in the face. I feel like I should address that. I had a little nose thing, and it, looks worse than what it is.
Getting all glaned up for the wedding. That's all.
This is what the White Lotus did to me. It hit me in the face. That's how strong this finale was. It pimp slapped me. But anyway, I was going to say, the whole Belinda thing, man, really got me, because it's the truth. I've seen what money can. You already know, Tyler. I've seen what money can do to people. I've seen the demons that come out. I've seen it, and and when it happens to a narcissist, that's when things really get interesting.
Yeah.
Really. And you really see the worst. I'm telling you right now, the Joker in The Dark Knight, he said it best. He's like, you really, when you find out who a man really is, when the chips are down, would you like to know which one of your buddies were cowards? Mm-hmm. That is true shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, but
I get chills.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. I mean, you really find out.
Totally.
It's sad. I've seen an entire family dissolve under a checkbook.
Yep.
And what's mine is mine, and that's mine. I didn't, it's sad. It really is. So with that being said, anything else?
I think that's everything. I know we got to do like a Survivor check-in soon. I just don't know.
Well, we said we were going to do it at the merge, and they officially merged last week. So maybe we can do one this week or next week.
Maybe like this Thursday or something. Yeah, I don't know. We'll figure. I want to do it though. Yeah, because we have a lot to talk about with Survivor 48. It's good stuff.
Yeah, Tyler is getting married in 2 weeks. Okay, he's got a wedding. He's planning. He does not have time. Look, he's one eye roll away from being a bridezilla. I asked a simple question 2 weeks ago, and I felt like I was being waterboarded.
I'm just in that phase of wedding planning right now where like everybody is asking me logistics that all the answers are on the timeline that I have communicated out to everybody. And my mom's texting me, I don't know how to Uber. And I'm like, I wasn't born like out of your womb knowing how to use Uber. Like I did a great thing. I went online, I Googled, you can ask ChatGPT to walk you through it. Like just download the app on your phone and just like play around for a little bit. You know what I mean? Like just figure it out. Figure it out, Mom. Figure it out, family. This is not a dig at you at all because I know we're like figuring out your travel stuff too. But like,
well, I have a totally different situation. You know what exactly. Mine is.
Yeah. But I'm just like I know my aunt's not gonna watch this, so I can say this. She called me yesterday and she was like, hey, what's the dress code for the welcome party? And it literally says on the photo invitation that I sent out to her, like just the day before that, dress code casual. And I'm like, just like read. I've tried to like answer everything for everybody, but I'm just in that phase where like people just need me to hold their hands through these next like 2 weeks.
Let me tell you something right now. I was cleaning out my closet, my pants on Friday. I found my glitter disco pants.
Oh, hell yeah.
Black with glitter. I'm like, well, I know what I'm wearing to the
yes.
To the
I would love that.
Not the because listen, I'm like I have wardrobe changes. I don't give a shit. I wear one thing to the wedding. And that's gonna be in the pictures. And then I'm gonna have another outfit that I'm gonna wear to the reception. And then when things go down to Funky Town, when we're listening to Casey and the Sunshine Band and Madonna's, I'm going to have my glitter pants on. I'm going to have my stacks, my glitter disco pants, and a t-shirt on, and it's going to get crazy.
I love it.
So, yeah, I got 3 wardrobes. 3.
I'm very excited. And, I have your place card right here.
Number 13. I was like, you know what? That's just the icing on the number 13. You planned it on purpose. I know it.
I don't know. Who's to say?
That's okay.
But yeah, I'm very excited. We'll hopefully we do a show before the wedding for like for Survivor stuff. But if this is the last time we're on air before that, thank you for all your support.
Yes.
And thank you to the patrons for continuing us to support this. Like I know we have kind of dropped the ball in terms of like covering stuff lately, but honestly, Survivor's not that fun to recap on a weekly basis. And I just want to like save the energy in the tank for like Big Brother. That's where like I feel like our bread and butter is. And I am feeling some like Big Brother withdrawals right now. Like now that like Big Brother Canada is like no longer a thing, I just feel like it's been so long since we were talking about Chelsea and Angela and MJ, and you know what I mean? Like Big Brother 26 was so great, and it feels like so long ago. So like I'm getting back in the mood for Big Brother.
You know, Mary J, whatever the hell her name, MJ. You know, MJ and Matt.
Yeah, they're together. Yeah.
They got an apartment somewhere.
Crazy.
Where did they go? I don't know where they moved.
Probably.
And I don't like Angela's going to be on the friggin' Amazing Race now. She falls on her face. Anyway, so yeah, guys, please subscribe. Become I keep forgetting not to scratch that.
Yeah, don't
please become a Patreon or whatever, or on the Spotify somewhere. You get a notification if you subscribe on the YouTubes. And yeah. So that's happening. We'll be back next week. We'll carve out the time to do one more show before the wedding, and it will be Survivor. And because we got it, man, this is the best season of Survivor. I don't say that.
That's why I really want to do this check-in, because like I'm excited that you are excited about this season. Yeah.
I'm invested in everyone. I am watching, and I will say this. I have not been off on who's getting eliminated, just tearing apart the confessionals. I knew who was going home. Oh, did I know?
As soon as she started talking bad about like Ava's autism, I'm like, oh yeah, this is
bye. She's out of here. Yep. She's out. This
is a death flag right here.
Yes. All right, guys.
Walton Goggins.
That's right. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you next week. And yes, that's all I got. My little Archie, my grandson, who's 1, is walking now. I just want to.
Congratulations.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. Bye, guys. We'll see you when we see you.